Welcome back, my friends, and welcome to the first entry in the Great Guitar Build-Off 2023. So I've entered the kit competition. Now, some of those you will remember I entered the kit competition before with that, where the only thing that was really a kit on it was the neck was pre-shaped but not carved. Headstock wasn't done, I had to do that all myself. And it had a slotted fretboard which I had to stick on. So a lot of people said I shouldn't have been in the kit, but anyway, it's the way I read the rules, because I bought something that was prepared. Anyway, this time, let me show you what I've got. So we're definitely in the kit category this time. So yes, this is a S-type body. Deal with that, it's a Strat. Okay, so what is this? This is a Strat body. It's mahogany, builder's mahogany, when I bought it anyway. I bought it from a company on eBay called Infinity UK. Was very pleased with the quality of it when it's turned up. It looks very nice. It's very light. It's lighter than some bodies I've had before. My blue HSS Strat is around here somewhere, which has got Uruguayan mahogany body, which is sustainable mahogany, I believe, from South America. This is definitely a lot lighter than that, which is nice. So yeah, quite impressed. And then what else have we got? Right. I just mentioned the blue HSS Strat. On that, I used a neck from Allegory in the UK, and I went and bought another one from them. However, this is different. This is a roasted maple Strat, 22 fret. I think it's a 9.5 radius. Pretty sure it certainly is. Anyway, the interesting thing was that the previous one I had was classic maple cap style, if you know what that means, i.e. the late 60s, when Fender did put maple fretboards on top of conventionally installed truss rods, as they had been doing with their rosewood fingerboards for the early parts of the 60s, from 59. Anyway, that was like that. This is also, but this has got a, this one's actually got a skunk stripe, which the other one hasn't, because obviously a skunk stripe normally indicates that truss rod's been entered from the back because it's a one-piece neck. Even though I know Fender use them for their rosewood fretboard ones. However, this is actually a maple cap. Having looked at it, it's got a separate maple fingerboard that has been put on. So it's got a skunk stripe, but it's got a maple fingerboard. But anyway, just telling you. Anything. What I'm really drawing your attention to is that the Allegory ones, obviously from their suppliers, they get different ones. But I was impressed with the one before. On first inspection, I'm similarly impressed with this one. So we shall see how that goes. But yes, it's so that's the neck. So far, it sounds very much like I'm doing a very standard Strat, other than the fact that I'm using mahogany for the body and a roasted maple neck, but that's becoming pretty standard these days, isn't it, folks? And you'd be right. Until I produce this. And so what is this? This is a maple top. From, it actually says on there, if you can see that, Luthier Crafts have supplied this to me. So I'm doing a maple topped mahogany Strat. That's the plan. Okay, folks. I've never done a maple top before. So we're in new territory, which is always good for a giggle, isn't it? I bought one of the cheaper tops with flame. They had some beautiful burls and all of that, but then I realised I was going to spend a whole chunk of money on a piece of wood, or a couple of pieces of wood, and I've never done this before, so it probably wasn't a bright idea. So I went for a slightly better one. It was cheaper for me, so better for my needs. But it's not a nice flame on it, you know. It's it's still a good looking piece of wood. Okay, so what's the plan then? So the plan is to put the top. So I need to mill off something off the front of the body and then put the top on. I'm then going to convert it so that it's reverse mount electrics, i.e. no scratch plate on the front. And I'm actually, even though the body is an SSS, that really is sort of neither here nor there, I'm going to route it for HSS, for HSH, get it right in a minute. So I'm going for sort of, sheer fusion type, that type of look guitar. That's the idea. Anyway, we shall see. I have some ideas on finish and what have you. But a lot of this all depends upon how well the top goes. So in my plan of what I need to do, 3 great words. Joint the top. Never done that before. So that's the first game. Obviously, if I completely screw up the top, etc., if I've not done anything yet to the body, I could still go for a mahogany bodied strap, which would be a bit boring, but, you know, hey-ho, rather than waste everything. So the first thing is to get the top jointed so that I'm happy, so I can then, you know, think about milling off the body and then fitting this, blah 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 blah. So anyway, thanks for watching, joining along, and I'll see you soon. Last year I luckily acquired this Stanley number 7 second hand in a swap for some other old tools that I had that were my dad's from years ago, which I was never using. So it's the first time I've really tried to use it. Now, I should have shown you these boards before we did this. Now, they are much better together than they were. Still not perfect. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is, because my planing technique's not brilliant, but I'm probably just going to do a couple of more passes with the plane, and then I'm probably going to try and use a sanding beam. Just going to say the problem seems to be around here where this grain comes in at this angle. Doesn't seem to matter which way I plane it, it's sort of catching a bit, which is just the way it feels. It's better than it was in the first couple of attempts. So I'm definitely getting there. It's my first ever attempt. I'm reasonably pleased so far with that. So anyway, onward and upwards. I'm swapped to using the sanding beam. I'm just putting a few pencil marks on to note my progress and see if I can see high spots, etc. I'm just trying to let essentially the weight of the bar do the work as much as possible. I'm just checking things for fit, etc. One thing I've just discovered, which is a real bonus in some respects, this is a 2-piece mahogany body fitted down the centre, which is very nice, both in terms of look-wise, but also really helped me be able to line up this top when we need to. Still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that, but anyway. And I've got a couple of marks which I think I have introduced, unfortunately, on this side, but that's okay because it looks like that was what I was looking for. I should be fine to be able to find, you know, how to do that. And then just looking at the joint, I mean, obviously at the moment, but I'm way happier with where I was. So the technique I used was using the number 7 plane to sort of get it roughly in, and then there was still light, etc. And then I used the crimson sanding beam, and I used that. I had 180 grit on there. I went particularly sort of light because I wanted to do it gently, and then I just used pencil marks, etc. I think I'm going to have another bit of a look at it, etc., and think, but then I think we can probably go for gluing it up, which I still need to fully think of. I don't know whether if you've seen Ben's build for this year, he just joined a redwood top with some masking tape. Will that work for me? We'll see. So I've done the tape method, and I'm just about to put big heavy plane on across it. As you can see, I've put some tape underneath to try and make sure we don't glue ourselves to the bench. I think we're okay there. Yeah, we feel okay there. Now, well, just leave it and see. Thank you. So, It's about 24 hours later. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that for my first ever attempt at doing something like this. Take off. So here we are. Look at that. I'm reasonably happy with that, if I'm perfectly honest. As you can see, I've just traced around the body so that you've got a bit of an idea of what it will look like. First ever time doing that, so I'm reasonably happy that it's at least it resembles the top, doesn't it? So next episode, onwards and upwards. What I need to do some measuring, do some calculations, but essentially I need to mill off enough off the top of this body so that we can then fit that top on top. I'm just debating about some other things. What I probably will do is at least put holes through there first, or at some point early, so that I can locate that, because I need to route that out because I'm going to have rear access plate. That's the plan. There's some things looking at it like, so obviously we've got this, and I'm debating what to try and do, whether to try and bend the top over it, which I'm a bit dubious of given my limited abilities, or whether I shape the top down and what you actually get is a bit of this showing through, which might be the option I go for. But leave that with me, and we will come back to that in the next episode. Anyway, thanks very much for joining along. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Please go and see other people who are doing great guitar build off 2023, and I'll see you in the next episode.